Hi, my name is Tammy Fisher. I'm the current Secretary Treasurer of the American Goat Federation. We're very excited to announce our new Cattleman's Guide to Meat Goat Production, and I'm going to now introduce this guy to my left to talk to you a little bit about that publication.
Yeah, my name is Randy Dushek. I'm Vice President of the American Goat Federation, and several months ago, we have a unique situation in the meat goat industry where our supply is not keeping up with our demand at all. With our demand far exceeds the supply, and we come up with the idea. The problem with the meat goat industry in the United States is it's more or less a hobby industry. There are very few large ranches raising meat goats now for meat, and so it's hard to get more goats. It's hard to get more meat, and we come up with the idea that if we could convince some of these cattlemen to raise meat goats. Meat goats and cattle are very good together. They don't graze on the same forage. Cattle are eating the grass, and the goats are eating all the weeds and the noxious plants and stuff, which is good for your pasture. So they do coincide with one another very well. And what we came up with, all the major the cattlemen are the ones that have all the land. So if we can convince them to start running meat goats with their cattle, then I think we can get our supply up. We get a lot of requests for people wanting goat meat, and it's not available. We just don't have enough because there's such a big ethnic population, and they get a lot of that goat meat. So what we're trying to do is with this Cattleman's Guide is it's just basically a guide to, we got cattlemen who are livestock people, so they know that, cattle get sick, goats get sick, but they can recognize that, and they know how to treat all of that. But what we're looking at is just kind of a guide as to what you need to do to add meat goats to your cattle operation. We have fencing issues. Fences that'll hold cattle will not hold goats, but we have a guide in there on several different types of fencing. One of the big problems with meat goats, especially in wetter climates, is parasites, internal parasites. So that's something that they need to be well aware of. And saying this, running goats with your cattle will help cut down on your parasite problem, because the parasites that live in cattle will not survive in goats, and the ones that live in goats will not survive in cattle. So that helps cut down on your reinfestation of stomach worms or internal parasites. That's basically, and like I say, the guide, it covers fencing, it covers predator control. If you're in an area that has a lot of coyotes or bobcats or mountain lions, you're going to have to do some type of predator control. We personally, on our operation, we run livestock guardian dogs with our goats. It's worked very well. I've been raising meat goats for about 25 years, and that's one thing that's worked well. But there are other options as well, and I'd like to turn it over to Tom Boyer, who is also one of the founding members of the American Goat Federation.
Thank you, Randy. So again, my name is Tom Boyer. I'm out of Utah, a goat producer there, and had goats most of my life there. As we talk about this whole program of merging goat production into cattle operations, there's a couple of things that producers need to keep in mind. One is that goats are at near or all-time high prices right now. That's a reward that is worth going after. That said, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. There's a really important set of facts that need to be understood, that Randy's referred to a lot of those, and that's what we try to cover in the guide. that there's a learning curve there, even for seasoned producers, on how to deal with the goats. I'm still learning and been a lifetime producer. I learn something new about goat production every year. But it is a worthwhile venture to merge those two together. They complement each other. You don't even know the goats are there when they follow the cattle. And so it's a marvelous way to utilize resources and turn forage that otherwise would not be used at all into a really high quality human consumable protein. And so we really encourage folks to take a serious look at this, but get with us, get with others. There are many others in the country who are knowledgeable about merging these enterprises together. And if you do that, this can be a really complementary part of the operation that will add to the bottom line profit-wise, as well as utilization of the resources that are present on most operations, beef operations in the country. It's both an opportunity and a challenge. And so it's important that you understand the marketing aspect of this goat portion of the operation. And if you understand where those markets are, you can really capitalize on those high prices that we have right now. You don't want to just automatically sell these at any local sale barn in the country without checking to see how prices compare at that sale barn with other auctions, including some of the major auctions, livestock auctions in the country, because there's often a big difference there. But if you understand how this whole system works, take advantage of those really good auctions and specialize, or sale barns that specialize in goats and have those goat buyers there. That's a wonderful opportunity. There are other direct ways as well that you can sell directly to some order buyers that will give you great contract pricing. So there's a lot of opportunity, but you have to understand how this market structure works and take advantage of those links that will hook you up to the best prices that are out there right now, because that's an important part of it.
Twins are the norm. Singles are very rare, and triplets are, it happens quite frequently. So you got to adjust your level of nutrition accordingly. But you get a return on your investment in you get kids on the ground in 5 months. So that's what's really attractive, especially adding goats to your cattle operation, is you can stretch your income out more through the year, and that always helps for producing cattle and goats.
So you get a goat crop, you get 3 crops every 2 years, which is so beneficial. And it seems like it might be more labor intensive, but goats are so less labor intensive than cattle. They require a whole lot less health care. They require a whole lot less feeding. They're really take care of themselves kind of animals if you can keep them in the fences and do a few preventative health maintenance things. That's the beauty of a goat. So I think typically right now the ethnic trade seems to be 65 to 75 pounds is what they're looking for. That's pretty typical of about a 8 month old goat, I would say, if I was guessing in my world. Yeah, and depending on your production system in your area of the country. So I'm actually in Southwest Texas, and the largest sheep and goat auction in the country for goats is in San Angelo, Texas. And we're actually starting to process goats now at J&J processing facility in San Angelo that just started last year. So we're super excited about the growth in that area. And as Tom mentioned earlier, the prices are just amazing. I mean, when I was a kid, we had a few goats out back that we would butcher just to eat every year, and you couldn't give them away. And now I wish my granddad was here to see $4 a pound goat meat. He's going, what is happening? It's just such a boon to our ranching economy. And for those of us who do have cattle, sheep, and goats, like I do on my operation, the cattle market is down right now. And we're not seeing the return on our investment that we feel like we should be seeing, maybe in that area. And then the lamb market and the goat market is out of this world. So it really allows you to not have all your eggs in one basket and really allows you to diversify your operation.
It does, and there's a world of opportunity out there. We're just struggling to meet our own here at home, but we do have huge opportunity internationally, particularly for goat products that we excel in producing in this country and processing here. And so there's a world of opportunity out there. One of the things that I think is important for us to all recognize is the productive capacity of a goat. If you think about 150 pound, 140 pound doe, we call a or nanny, as some might refer to them, and as we think about 2 kids that we can get to 70 pounds, she'll produce her weight in offspring every year. Now think about a cow, the weight of a cow, and not many cows will produce a 900-pound calf or a 1,000-pound calf. And it's not that I'm against cattle at all. I'm just pointing out the productive capacity of a goat is impressive, and so they have a great potential role in our agricultural economy in this country. One of the things about goat meat that's important to understand is the way it's structured. The fat is on the outside of the meat, which means that it provides an opportunity to have a unique cooking experience, but more important, it has a really healthy quality to it, because and we could call it a health food if you wanted to look at it that way, because of the way the fat is structured. It doesn't get into our diet very often, and it gives us a really great opportunity to consume one of the most lean, low cholesterol, low fat meats that there is. So that's one of the other benefits to this that we see going forward in the future into the diets, as we have an opportunity to grow production and provide additional quantities of consumable meat for the public.
Absolutely. We actually are creating a breed in Texas called cedar eater goats. I don't know what their real name is going to be, but that's what I call them. And I have cedar eaters on my property. So they are genetically predispositioned to go straight to a juniper plant, which is the most water intensive plant on our property and also the largest canopy plant on our property, so not allowing grass to grow, and they are the biggest fire carriers in our area. So if you go to a ranch that's really intensive on grazing goats, and especially cedar eater goats, you see that canopy be raised from the ground to about a 4-foot, 5-foot level, wherever they can jump up and reach it. And that takes that fire danger so far down. And we're actually looking at promoting goats and a new guide for targeted grazing, not just for fire mitigation, but for recreational properties.
Brush control.
Water, which helps water savings on properties. We're looking at targeted grazing on solar farms, which is amazing. They're just amazing tools. They're a free lawnmower is what they are. Well, actually, you get paid to have a lawnmower. You don't even have to mow your own lawn, and you get paid for it at the end. So it's a pretty amazing product. So our website is AmericanGoatFederation.org, and we have all of our information on there. We also have our email addresses on that site, as well as all the other directors. So you could contact one of us directly to ask us questions at any time.
The brochure is called The Cattleman's Guide to Raising Meat Goats. And, you know, it's a good starter, but like I say, like Tammy says, if you want more information, our website has got a lot, and any of us, I've been raising cattle and goats together for about 25 years. Tammy's been doing it, Tom's been doing it, and, you know, that's just, our expertise. I mean, you can benefit from our years of experience without making the same mistakes that we made. Because whenever the goats, or whenever the boar goats first came over here, all we basically had was brush goats, Spanish goats, and stuff. And there's a pretty good learning curve there. We made some mistakes, and so I would, you know, recommend it. And just give me a call, and I'll keep you from making some of the same mistakes we did.
So we would invite anyone to join the American Goat Federation. It's $35 a year. It's super cheap for a lot of resources that we provide, including that mentorship capability that we as board members and our board of directors has to offer. And all of our publications are on the website.
Yes.
Yes.
We are the American Goat Federation. So we represent all breeds of goats. We represent all goat producers in this country. So it's a totally inclusive organization. We represent them on a regulatory front in Washington, D.C. We represent them on a marketing basis as we provide those resources, educational, research, all of these areas on all breeds and all producers in the country, and all stakeholders really, going on past just the production level as well. But our goal is to represent all the stakeholders in the goat industry in this country.